Yo, everybody, it's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. Ooh, yeah. It's been a minute since I, dropped a new episode. I got some other things I got to release. Casual counsel as usual, so I'm going to go throw that on there. But I just wanted to catch up a little bit. I wanted to bring in that little bit of music. It's been a while since I did it the old school way. So, without further ado, let's just kick it. Ooh, yeah. Right. So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
What is up, everybody? It's been a minute. I've been doing some things on Twitch a little bit, but I've been really busy since, we're going to catch up. But I've got a lot of things coming up. It's going to be a great, great time. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, hint a little bit about it on this episode. So I hope everybody's been doing good out there. It's been really fun. Last weekend, of course, like I said, I did a casual counsel for Flying Casual. That was really fun, as always. So,
ooh, yeah!
That being said, I just wanted to, let's talk about fantasy baseball started. So, since the beginning of baseball, I like to get, that's when a lot of the robots don't have a lot of data. A lot of the machines don't have data. So you can get some, some really good plays. A lot of people are still kept in the dark, machines like that. So, I threw in some money and, we're winning. We're doing good. Everything's going along with this season. So I'm really excited. Seasonal fantasy team's doing really good. So this will be the first week because it's like a week and a half matchup. So I'm doing really good there. I'm feeling really good. And, man, I got some crazy stuff coming up. So, on FanDuel and DraftKings, it's been good. Both sites have been really great on the pricing, so I got to give them credit right there. So, little clap, clap, clap for them. And then on the other side, you've been able to get some value plays in, like Tyler Naquin for the last couple of days, or when I called it Darren Ruff. The things, the David Bode call, that was crazy too.
Hell yeah!
So, that being said, that's what the making lineups, being competitive in daily fantasy sports and betting too. Betting's been really good, but I've been so busy just making sure that I'm practicing what I need to come into full circle coming soon, and so I wanted to own that. And I've been watching. And the only way you're going to be good at something like daily fantasy baseball is if you actually throw in a little bit here and there every other day, or at least play a free league so you're seeing the lineups, you're seeing the price fluctuations, you're seeing the hot streaks, cold streaks, and you're getting into all that information. So that's going to be something coming up for you. And, so everything's been really good on both. You got to always remember, don't play. Some days don't look good. So don't do a double pitcher site just like, DraftKings. Do it, throw it in, but don't go big. But if you feel really confident about 1, 2, or 3 pitchers out of like a 3-game slate or a 2-game slate, 1 or 2 pitchers, then throw a lineup in on FanDuel and just give it a chuck. See whatever you got, man. You don't ever know. You could win. You could win it all. And that's all it takes is just $1 a quarter, $5. Man, the contest, that's something I got to talk about. The contests have been really crazy. You cannot find any great contests right now. You can find them, but it's really hard, and they're in weird places. They're in like the quarter games, where it's only just the showdown mode. And that's where you'll find your $4.44, $40,000, $5,000 to first place contest. But right now, you got to look for those. So it's been a little hard, but we'll talk about that coming up. So there's some big news coming up. Monday got a big meeting. It's going to be awesome, and I'm really close to revealing what that news is, but it has something to do with content in daily and everything that I just talked about recently. And I want you to know that a lot of my podcasts over the years, I've talked about just staying true to your method and making sure that you're always you. You can't be this guy or the next that guy. You can only be you. So whatever you feel comfortable, stay within your comfort zone and play. You're going to win some days. You're going to lose some days. But always remember, take a break as well, too. You can burn yourself out really easy. And you don't want that. So if you're going to be playing, especially baseball, That's it. But football, you don't have to burn yourself out. And last year with the games almost every day, that is something to look at. But, that's not going to be the case this year. Plus, it's looking like we're going to get an extra week. So, that's just more money for us to win, all of us to win. So that's going to be even bigger announcement. But next week, I'll have a big announcement. I will do a big Bring the Pain episode about it. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be crazy to see where it goes. But it's got something, so stay tuned. All right, well, I don't want to drag down the podcast and anything like that, but I do want to talk, about DMX. Switch it over right here. Earl Simmons, Darkman X. DMX was a big part of everybody's lives. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about music and stuff. Party Up in Here. What's Really Good. That was a funny little song. And just so many different sayings that he would say. This was about an era for me. So if you've listened to a lot of my other podcasts, you know that what's big in my life is the meaning behind something. So this is really about, my brother-in-law. So, me and him, he started driving, got his license. He got a Stratus RT, put a system in it immediately. I had some really good high ends. No bump though. But I had a good deck. We had good decks and stuff. But, I had Sirius too. And we would just drive around. I had this 1992 Saturn SL that I got this better engine in. So normally those Saturns would be around 87 or 90 horsepower. I had about $130 in that, which was the next grade up. I had some guys switch everything over. It was really cool. So I could, every time I would get into a little Saturn race, look at this little detour.
What?
I said a side road.
What?
I'm talking about, ooh yeah. Let's get to it. Yeah. So DMX was a big part of those years for me. We used to drive around, listening to Rough Riders anthem. And me and my brother-in-law we would go make CDs. So LimeWire was really big around that time for us. And other downloading places. Yes, it was illegal, whatever. Shit happens.
Hell yeah!
So that being said, we would drive around and we would listen to this stuff, and we would end up going home. So he would go home for the week because he had school and stuff. And, most of the time I would be working through Monday through Friday. Crissi Rae always worked weekends. So that what was really cool is we would make CDs, and then he would come over on the weekend. Nice, beautiful day like today. 77, sun out, beautiful in Erie, Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about, dig it? Yeah. And we would just drive with the windows down, with the system up. And you had a little stick shift, and you had a nice little Magnaflow muffler on it. Freaking brother-in-law Josh, man, just chilling. And we would just go around, maybe get some races, but we would just have fun listening to the DMX music. And we would go find these crazy mixes with him in it that were leaked or whatever. And we would we would surprise each other. So he would have his CD and I'd have my CD. Sometimes we'd have some songs on it because we'd found the same song. But we would always just get it, and then we would just burn it, and then we would play music, drive around, having such a great time. And that's what DMX was for us during that years. With my wife, too. That was a lot of times when I, of course, met my brother-in-law through my wife. And at my time, this was, the transition period between us being, engaged into, being married for the first few years, overcoming a huge knee surgery that I had because I was playing football, stuff like that. This stuff held it down, and a lot of other people probably have more deeper, darker stories that, DMX, but DMX reminded me a lot of those summers, a lot of those times, a lot of those great times with my brother-in-law and my wife, Crissi Rae. Ooh, yeah. And that's what it was about during those times, and it was great to have him part of it. It was sad to see what happened, but again, this comes back to my other previous podcast about Avicii and things like that sometimes people are gone and they keep speaking out, and a lot of people don't listen, and what ends up happening is an unfortunate incident, and you don't ever know if it can be stopped or if it can be prevented. But you always want to feel that you could make that difference. Unfortunately, we have lost a lot of great people in this world because of mental health and not being able to reach out to the right means or speak up or just knowing when to take a step away, which is kind of what's going on. And with me, it's I've taken a step away with my knee injury I have had to reevaluate. I've had to make sure that I couldn't do a lot of things at first, and now I've worked myself into where, slowly me and Crissi Rae and Mini Overrod are getting things done so that when I do have surgery and then I get back from that after all the recovery, which will be easy, I'll be great, then that's the next level. That's next level. That's the next part of my life, because that's when I'm going to be going into football, and that's when the huge road's going to open. And sometimes some people don't get that. And you could say there have been a lot of times in my life that either A, I was in a dark situation, or I put myself in a dark situation. And a lot of those times, DMX was there. That was it. That was, that was a lot of the music I was listening to, and just embracing that friendship that I have with my brother-in-law, Josh. And knowing that, it was just his flight times, and we would be like, what? Break it down. And we would just do things, man, and it's crazy. So I just wanted to make this a little faster one. I didn't want to go into it too long, things like that. Future and outlook, just always keep your goals up. Keep going, doing that. And this podcast is going to be taking a new direction. In the past, I've been more of like a loose cannon, and that's always been fun for me, because I think that the podcast, and I'm not ashamed of what I talked about in the podcast, because I think that podcast and those podcasts really got my feelings out and helped me also talk with Crissi Rae. Even though we would talk about this a little bit and we would go live with the podcast, it helped me work things out, and it set me into the directions that I am. And then eventually, the life had to say, hey, we can't take all this attention to you. We want you to be this. And the thing is I can't be that. I have to be me, and I want to help people around me that help me. And I think that's a big part of me. And I think trying to hold that down really just isn't the cool thing. So that's where life is going right now, and that's where this podcast is going. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to say we might have, a couple, F-bombs in there and some crazy pop episodes come out, but come this August, come September, I really have some big ideas of what's going to end up happening with this podcast and a lot of other things, and where this podcast is going to end up. And it's going to happen really fast, and it's going to happen within the next couple weeks. And when that happens, I hope that all of you are ready to ride this train, because, the funny thing is my Twitch just hit 50, and a big part of the reason that my Twitch has hit 50 is because of going over to Twitch with one of my longest friends of all time, Dave, and then watching some DJ Magic Mike, that is, sets, and then it followed me over to DJ Shallon to follow me, and that from there I met Club Unity, and that's been a big part of what me and Crissi Rae have been doing recently, because I'm not angry anymore, because I don't go into the world. I don't have to wear a mask like every single day. There's days we don't even leave here because we're so set in we have enough. We're good. We're being cautious. We're also being safe. We're getting ready for everything, and just getting ready for a great summer that, had a little mark. And that is what it's about. And I got to say, I am totally awed that I got over 50 followers on Twitch. That is a big part of me. I want to really do a lot of gaming for all of you on Twitch. And it all started with DJ Magic Mike again, the whole thing. Just, you get into these rooms and you watch them, and you just talk to everybody. And like I said, Crissi Rae's in there, and we're laughing, we're having a good time. There's good music that you're not going to hear anywhere else. So definitely check out, the Magic Mondays, the Sub Junkie Wednesdays. And then he does Hip Hop Thursdays. Every once in a while, he does old school parties on Fridays. And, J Club Unity. And, of course, DJ Shallon. A lot of people under their umbrella. Everybody there is really cool. And we're all just here for good music. And that's what brings a lot of people together, is music. And that's what, DMX did for me and my brother-in-law, Josh. It was one of those other things on top of Spice One and everything else that we listened to, even DJ Magic Mike. I was basing in his little thing, bringing that back when nobody was thinking about basing. We were basing DJ Magic Mike. Now Stratus RT. Ooh, yeah. But, things like this. Things like this, man. Little things. Just little things in the background that kind of just sound so good. And then you want to, just the whole night is a about that. And it's a DJ life, and it's great, and you get the smiles, and you're making friendships for future trips. And the thing is that when you finally get to the end of it, and you see the support that you have, and the support that you give back, and then everything's coming down the line, and I couldn't be more excited for Crissi Rae and her paparazzi business right now, and how hard she's working to make that so much better. And, upgrading recently, she purchased a Chromebook because she wants to do a lot of things herself, and she didn't really have that since I have the laptop for all of my Twitch and things that I do and video gaming and stuff like that. It's just how life really works well. And I think that when you do it with your family, or you do it with friends, or you do it around music, it really does make the best of it. Ooh, yeah! So, that being said, I think this was a great episode. It's nice, short, long. Do definitely get over to the Twitches and check out those guys. I'm going to go out so you can get this song. It's by DJ Shallon. It's called Follow Me. And I'm going to end a little out with that. I'm going to give a link at the bottom to where you can purchase this as well. He gets full respect for this. He owns this song. I'm going to tell him that we're going to get everything that we can. And that's how you bring the pain. And that's how you get ready for the future. So everybody, get ready and follow me. Oh, yeah.
I'm the Alpha, Omega, beginning, the end. A light in the darkness, salvation, condemned. Follow me, I'll lead you, I'll show the way. Surrender your soul.
Bring the pain!